Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Good Shepherd YouTube channel. I talked about Shaq in the last couple of videos, and I want to get to this next guy because Shaq, to me, whether you want to put him or Kobe and Duncan as the greatest player of his generation, he was the greatest player of his generation in terms of what he did off the court. And I want to talk about the guy that I believe is the greatest player of his generation for what he does off the court. And this is no knock against LeBron or Melo or even D Wade, because I know they did their part and then some. But I want to talk about Steph Curry. And what's so important when it comes to Steph Curry is to understand the adversity and the obstacles he had early on. Steph Curry was a guy that was not recruited. I shouldn't say that because Virginia Tech did recruit him a little bit. He was not given and offered a Division I scholarship by any major college basketball program. That's mind-boggling. That's baffling to me. So what does he do? He becomes the best player in the country. And then you know what happens? He's drafted 7 overall. Let me tell you some names that were drafted over him in the 2009 draft class. Tyreke Evans, Ricky Rubio, Johnny Flynn, and Hasheem Thabit. Now, what do all 4 of those guys have in common? They have 0 All-Star appearances. And to be honest, let's be realistic about this. No disrespect Ricky Rubio. They really haven't sniffed that. Well, Steph Curry, anyone who's paying attention, has started in the last 6 All-Star games. By the way, the other 2 guys, Blake Griffin and James Harden, they've never ever won an NBA championship. They haven't even been to an NBA Finals. And what has Steph done? Steph has been to 5 NBA Finals. Now, what's really interesting to me is Steph, while he was MVP in that 14-15 season, and he won it in a landslide. That was the year before, by the way, he won the unanimous MVP, that being the only unanimous MVP season in the history of the NBA. He didn't care about who won Finals MVP. He never cared. He doesn't care about awards. What he cares about is getting better each and every season. What he cares about is the impact that he has on his team. That's what we know of Steph. And if you don't believe me, hear it from the horse's mouth. Well, second to the horse's mouth, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. This is Steve Kerr after the sweep over the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2018 NBA Finals. Take a listen.
I'm sure it would have been nice for Steph to win the MVP, but honestly, I don't think he's that disappointed.
So what we know about Steph is he puts the we results before the me results. And listen, that's very important. A lot of athletes, especially at the level of a Steph Curry, that kind of a caliber of player, they talk about all the time putting the team first. Very few actualize that. Steph Curry actualizes that. He won an NBA championship. It was the 2015 season. We know he set the all-time record with 286 threes. And what does he do the next year? He increases that mark by over 40%. Now, I challenge you watching this, and I want you to put this in the feedback below, the comments in the YouTube section below. I'll give you $5. No, I'm kidding. We'll think of a prize. But I challenge you to come up with a person that broke a record that had not been broken in a long time and then surpassed that record the next season by 40%. Even more paramount than the greatness of Steph Curry is what he does off the court. Coronavirus hit this country so hard. I can't think of an athlete that did more for the COVID-19 in any sport than Steph Curry. I want you to watch this clip. It's from James Corden, a very popular late night show on CBS, and this is really cool. Take a look at this.
Go!
Oh yeah, that's 3.
Go, Daddy. Go.
4. I knocked it over.
Go, Daddy.
That's 5. Time's up.
If you just saw that, Steph Curry became the first NBA player to take part in that shooting challenge, which was dedicated to feeding the children. If you go to Steph Curry's Twitter account, what he has, the 2 first things are in relation to COVID-19. Where a lot of people may be making videos for entertainment and a lot of players may be getting very hungry and antsy about what's going to happen in terms of what the season is going to unfold. Steph Curry is tweeting about the biggest pandemic this country has ever seen. And not only that, He is taking his people, he's taking his resources, he's taking his platform, and he has raised millions and millions of dollars. He has had Dr. Fauci on. We know the most sought out expert when it comes to coronavirus, maybe in the world. Over 50,000 people tuned in live when Steph Curry had that Q&A with Dr. Fauci, including a guy by the name of Barack Obama, by the way. That's pretty good. That's pretty powerful. That's impactful, man. And we know Steph Curry, even before that, the millions of dollars that he was able to fund the golf program against the institutionally all-black program at Howard University, how special that was, given the dearth and given the lack of golf in those historically black colleges, the fact that Steph would do that, and he never even went to Howard. We know about the countless hours he spends at his alma mater, Davidson, giving back to that school. We know about the bed nets he raised when it came to the threes he hit in 2014 and the thousands and thousands and thousands of bed nets he was able to disperse to Africa because of his efficiency and accuracy and greatness when it came to being an NBA basketball player. We know what he does for economic stability. In fact, when the hourly employee of the Chase Centers lost opportunities for income, Steph Curry made it his business, made it absolutely pivotal for his legacy, not for accolades, not for praise, but because he knew it was the right thing to do to raise millions of dollars for those workers, thousands of workers at the Chase Center. And he would provide them with that much needed breathing room in terms of finances to support their families, to put food on the table. This is the ultimate role model. When the NBA season resumes, we're going to talk about LeBron versus Giannis MVP debate. We're going to talk about who wins the title. Are the Clippers going to be the favorites in the West because of the historical greatness of Kawhi Leonard, because of the chip on the shoulder of Paul George? But what we ought to do, even during the season, even during the great return, which I know we're all anticipating, we need to acknowledge the greatness of a person like Steph Curry off the court. There are so many people right now in society that we look up to, and for the wrong reasons. But I want to promise you something. You look up to Steph Curry, it's for the absolute right reasons. Thank you, Steph. Speaking of thank you, continue your comments in the section below. I will answer all your questions, and I appreciate all your feedback. Get involved with the channel. My question for you is this: has any athlete in your lifetime done more off the court than Steph Curry? It could be Muhammad Ali. It could be Jim Brown. It could be Stan Musial. It could be work done, what he did for single mothers in terms of providing houses. But is it Steph Curry? And secondary question, I'm throwing out a lot of questions, but secondary question, does that add to his legacy even more than what Steph did on the court, which is an all-time great legacy to begin with? I want to thank you very much for listening. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day and continue to stay safe. Subscribe below too. Thank you.